Hi, I'm Marianne Clyde,
And I'm Lorna McGill.
and we're here with the Isn't She Amazing podcast with another amazing guest. So, Lorna, do you want to introduce our guest?
Yes, I'm very excited to introduce Sara Lomelin with Philanthropy Together. Sara and I met several years ago, it was pre-COVID, at a Women's in Leadership conference, and she was just getting started with this venture of hers. So I've loved just watching her over the years on social media. I follow her and see how it's grown and watched her TED Talk. So we're just really excited to hear about why you did this and how it's grown and what your vision is for it. And just, the collective vision of getting people together to do good and why that's so important.
Yeah, how did you
Thank you.
start it?
Thank you so much, Lorna and Marianne, for having me. It's really a pleasure, and I love this podcast that you are doing because it's so needed, right? For women our age, that sometimes people forget about us, and we are a force, and
We are
it's
a
amazing.
force.
We are a force, and it's amazing what we're doing, right? So thank you so much for having me. And yes, Philanthropy Together, it's an incredible organization that was co-created by more than 100 people. So literally, we are the brainchild of more than 100 people. And it's an organization around collective giving. Our mission is to democratize and diversify philanthropy through the power of collective giving. And as you may be thinking, 70% of giving circles and collective giving groups are led by women. Because the
Really?
way,
Well, I guess that makes sense because we're the gatherers of people.
we are the gatherers of people. We are very collaborative. We're more collaborative than men. And we give differently. We want to learn from each other. We want to build relationships with one another and also with the causes that we care about, right? Like we tend to be a lot more involved as volunteers, as board members in nonprofit organizations, and yes, it's a lot more hands-on.
That's exciting. I know when I get involved in philanthropy and projects around the world and so forth, the absolute truth is I like to know where my money's going. I like to be involved with the people that are receiving it and wondering how they use it to build communities, not just as a charity, but as they build self-sustaining communities and projects. And it's really, really rewarding.
Well,
Totally.
what I love, I'm sorry, is just that, just like collectively, it doesn't have to be a lot of money on each person's part, but collectively it is a lot of money.
Exactly. That's the whole idea. It's like how, it's really disrupting the notion of who gets to be called a philanthropist. You don't have to be a white man in your 60s to be called a philanthropist. You can be, a 22-year-old woman with your friends just out of college, and you can get together and really make a change in your community, right? So, just for your audience, like what is a giving circle, right? A giving circle is a group of people with shared values that get together to create change. And Marianne, you just said it perfectly, right? You want to go beyond charity. And we always say, giving circles because people are creating community, opening a space for discourse, and they're a lot more engaged, is moving from charity to really create change.
Yeah, that's right. So can you explain how the giving circles actually work? I mean, I've been involved groups like 100 women that give a certain amount of money to collectively get more money, but give us a more technical
of course, yes. And
articulate.
yes, well, it's we always say that when you know one giving circle, you know one giving circle, because the beauty of the model is that you can kind of invent your own rules, right? You get to set your own rules that work for your group of people. But the basics the basic steps to have a giving circle, the first is to create a sense of belonging. You need a group, right? This is not solo philanthropy. So the first step, you need a group that can meet in your living room, in an office conference room, with your colleagues, with your neighbors, with your friends. And each of you talk about, what are you passionate about? What are those values that guide your life and guide your giving? And the idea is that as a group, you will find the common values of the group. So that doesn't mean that you need to be thinking exactly the same as your neighbor, right? You may be completely, in different, different political spectrums, etc., but you find the common values that will guide your giving as a group. And then once you have that, sense of belonging, of being part of something that is bigger than yourself, then the second step is to create a space for discourse, right? In a given circle, you have different perspectives, and that's the beauty of it. Like, we are learning, again, relearning how to talk to each other, how to listen to people that may not think as us, and being, acceptant of that person and that perspective, and learning from one another. Right. So the Giving Circle members will learn from one another, but also, they pick a cause that they care about, and they evaluate different organizations that may be working in the cause that they care about. So some Giving Circles, meet 4 times a year. Some Giving Circles meet 6 times a year. Some Giving Circles give, as you were talking about, the 100 Who Care model. In that model, people give every quarter. There are also another big network of Giving Circles, women's Giving Circles, the Impact 100. They give annually, right? So each Giving Circle is different. But after you talk about that, okay, we're going to pick this cause that we care about. We're going to learn about these organizations. The third step is to give with trust. So everybody is going to pull their donations. And again, there are many different ways of doing this. In some circles, it's a set donation and everyone gives the same. And then other Giving Circles have like sliding scales in terms of ages, right? We have seen that, some very large women's Giving Circles have, a smaller donation if you are in your 20s, a slightly larger donation if you're in your 30s, a bigger donation if you're in your 40s, etc., or also in what stage in your career you are, right? Mm-hmm. So again, you decide for your group what kind of, if you have like a set donation or not. So everybody pulls their money together. And the idea is that the Giving Circle is going to give with trust. And trust is at the center of a Giving Circle because, as you know, the pool fund sometimes is there even before you know where the money is going to go. So you are trusting the process, you are trusting each other as members of the circle, but also the idea is that trust will get transferred to, the leaders on the ground, like literally the people that are working in the nonprofit, the people that are making change happen. And then, you get together, you decide which organization you are going to support, you give the pool gift, which is impact multiplied by the size of the group. And the beauty is you don't stop there. You don't stop on the financial contribution, but you also give your time, your talent, your testimony, and your ties, right? Apart from your treasure. So not everybody can do it because, of course, people have different, lives and schedules, but the whole idea is that you get more involved. That is not just a donation, but that you can, become a volunteer with the group, or even, when we talk about your testimony, right? Like following them, following that organization on social media, advocating for them, talking to your neighbors or your cousins about why you're supporting that cause. Like sometimes just, the visibility that you can give to an organization is even more important than the actual financial gift.
And are you finding, just like, you mean, like for me, coming from a Hispanic family, like it wasn't really talked about, philanthropy, we didn't really talk about it in those circles. It's just even the engagement of other nationalities, of like learning like the power that they can have, because you're right, most of it is philanthropy has been 60-year-old white man, and so now you can actually make a difference. I mean, what are you seeing with that?
Yes, something very important to note is that giving circles are not new, and they're not American, right? Like the whole idea of people banding together is as old as humanity itself. In many, many countries, there are groups of women that get together, to help one another, right? So you have tandas in Mexico, you have susus, you have, mutual aid societies. So a lot of times when people say, talk about philanthropy or giving circles, and as you said, Lorna, in the Latino community, you're like, well, no, we're not philanthropists. But you start thinking about it, it's like, oh yeah, we are. We have been philanthropists forever, right?
Right.
And it's about, recognizing the cultures of giving and cultures of generosity from many different groups and countries around the world.
So here's a question for you. So if say some of our audience want to start a giving circle, what's the protocol? I mean, do they tell your organization that they want to do it, or is this something you just kind of advise and then go do it? How does that work?
Great question, Marianne. So we have Philanthropy Together is we're a nonprofit, and every single program and resource that we have on our website is free of charge. So everybody is welcome to go and watch videos and download resources and everything. We have a global giving circle directory on our website, so people can plug you can plug your zip code or some keywords about the areas that you care about, and you can find a giving circle near you. If you don't find one, or it's not a good fit for you, you can start your own. And how do you start your own? We offer a program called Launchpad. Every single month is online, is free, is 90 minutes. And you can come for 90 minutes and literally learn all these steps. You will get a toolkit with okay, icebreakers, where you find your members, how do you engage them, like all the little steps. And once you are part of, this Philanthropy Together family, you will get invited to all the trainings that we have, webinars. We run an incredible community of practice around equity and justice in collective giving, that we have monthly webinars. We also run the We Give Summit every year, and all the content from the last 3 years is on the website free of charge. So, just reach out to us, we'll help you, we'll make it happen.
Because I know there's a lot of women our age that they want to be involved in giving. They want to, I hear women talking about wanting to start a nonprofit, or wanting to, we want to make a difference. We don't want to feel like we're shoved into a corner or shoved into a box because, well, now we're over 50, over 60, or soon to be over 70, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, go away and quilt, or go away and knit.
We're not doing that. We're not
into that.
I never learned how to knit, and I'm not going to do it now.
But it's an empowering thing for women, I think, to feel like they have resources like this. And now your TED Talk, when you talk, you're a disruptor.
Yeah, she is.
Talk a little bit about that. Talk about why you do that, and why you call yourself that?
Well, I feel that, and I was just talking to someone this morning, is if you look at my resume, you would think like, my God, this woman has been jumping like here and there in so many different things. But yes, I have reinvented myself several times, and I got into philanthropy almost at 40. And I didn't know anything about it. I had never worked in a nonprofit. I had never done, development work. And the moment I stepped into that world from the side door, I loved it. And at the same time, I saw all the challenges and things that didn't, sat down with me in a good way. Um, this whole idea of people not getting involved, this whole idea of big foundations just focusing on major donors, right? And kind of saying, giving circles or everyday givers are the little kids on philanthropy. No, I do feel that giving circles, apart from being an incredibly fun and social, way of getting together and making new friends, are crucial for the fabric of our society. Why? Because it's not just about giving, it's about learning about each other, from building community, learning from different causes. And right now, there is a crisis going on. Like, many times we don't even talk to our neighbors, right, anymore. We are looking in social media only about, we're just hearing what we want to hear.
Right.
And we need to change that. And we need to be able to listen to one another, and also, to involve young people into volunteering, into being more aware. So we need to engage them in everyday giving. It's not rocket science. It's just looking at those organizations in your backyard, right? You don't have, if you want to give internationally, by all means, there are many. There's so much need internationally, but also in every single community, in every single community. And especially, the small grassroots organizations that are usually overlooked by traditional philanthropy. They're the ones that are, inundated by clients every day, but they're not getting the big dollars. They're not getting the big funding.
Sometimes they're not getting any funding.
Yes, so it's on us. I think it's time that every single person looks inside and said, what is mine to give? It may not be money, but you have a voice, you have a network, you have, time.
Right.
Yes, and especially, a lot of women our age that have, raised a family, their kids are out of the house, they had a career, they're, newly retired. Let's, focus all that incredible energy in doing good.
And I think that's just like the philanthropy circles. They're just so cool because it gives women a voice.
Yes.
Community. You can actually see the difference that you're making because it's so grassroots. It's not like you're sending it someplace and you're not really ever seeing what the benefits are, that you'll actually see that. So, that's just amazing to me.
Yeah. That's it. It's so empowering to watch women grab hold of their ability to give money, give time, give, I know women that tutor, children, and whatever their, whatever their calling is, they add a social aspect to that, and a sense of community. And we know that we need a sense of community in order to not get weary, not get tired of doing stuff. We need a community to help us with our resources. Who we know. Everybody knows somebody. Everybody has like you said, everybody has a network. And so between the three of us, we could probably figure out a pretty extensive network. Because do you know somebody that does this? Do you know somebody that has this? And
we
women
probably know
are very
everybody.
resourceful that way.
Yes. And there are incredible giving circle networks, women giving circle networks, like, just on the top of my head, you can take a look at Philanos, which is the largest women's giving circle network. They have circles all over the country. Impact 100. The model is $1,000 a year, 100 women. 100 Who Care Alliance, $100 every quarter, right? More than 100 women. Together Women Rise, if you are interested in giving internationally. So there are many, the Community Investment Network, which is a network of Black and people of color giving circles. There are many, many, many giving circles around identity and faith, right? There's Amplifier, which is a network of giving circles based on Jewish values. There's the American Muslim Community Foundation has giving circles. So they're giving circles all over. So yeah, the Latino Giving Circle Network that I, helped start in California. So yeah, I feel that everybody should get involved.
Was that before you started the giving network that you've got now?
Yeah, so actually, what Philanthropy Together is an umbrella organization. We're kind of like a network of networks. And yes, when I was at Latino Community Foundation, in partnership with a group of women, representatives from Amplifier and Philanos and the Community Investment Network and the Asian Women's Giving Circle, we got together and we built this business plan of what is now Philanthropy Together. So it was formed out of the need of the field.
And that's powerful. When you have a grassroots thing that there's a need and people come and fill it is huge. And
it's just incredible. I mean, I just realized that's when I think about when you were talking about it, not too long ago.
No, we started right at the beginning of the pandemic, actually.
You're right.
April 1st, 2020.
I just met her.
Congratulations, your timing's been impeccable.
Right before the pandemic, and she was talking about it.
Wow, that's really something, because at that time, all the, I had a nonprofit that ultimately then we didn't get, we kind of went the by the byway during the pandemic. We just didn't have the funding that we needed, and happened to so many funding organizations. And so the fact that you were building something during that time is incredibly good timing.
Well, we did build it the year before. So during 2019, we went through a co-design project over a year. So this team of 5 women, and we involved the voices of 100 other people in different networks and different giving circles, and we built together, kind of the skeleton of the organization. And we launched at the beginning of the pandemic, and the beautiful part of it was that we didn't change anything on the business plan. We were kind of like, okay, we are now in the virtual world. And actually, it was a good timing, because if you think about it, a lot of our audience, a lot of giving circle people that participate in giving circles are over 50 or over 60 or over 70, and all those giving circles were meeting in person. Suddenly, because of COVID, everybody had to jump on the virtual world. Everybody had to figure out how to use Zoom, right? How to use FaceTime, everybody became tech savvy. Yeah. So for us, it was really good, because with such a diverse group of people, we needed to have all of our programs accessible. So that meant having everything online. So for us, the pandemic helped by kind of training everybody to be, online. Right. And the change was that we were created to support the American Giving Circle field. And after a couple of months, the very first time we put a program out, we had people from Germany and from Chile and from China coming. And we said, okay, how did they find us? And the reality was that, again, with COVID, there were no geographic barriers anymore. Everybody was, on the internet finding something to do, and we became a global organization. So we now have, partners and friends in many, many different countries, and most of our materials are in English, Spanish, German, and Mandarin. And now we're in the process of translating everything in Portuguese. So, so open to more languages and open to bring more people from different countries into this.
Well, and that I think COVID was a catalyst for the growth of many things that actually it was time for those things to happen. And
it sped it all up. Instead of it taking a long time, like you had to do it today because
right.
that was the opportunity.
Yeah,
Totally.
when there's all this red tape normally, now it's like,
yes.
no, we got to do this. Let's do it tomorrow, or today.
Yeah, and actually, thanks to little things like offering Giving Circles a free Zoom account, right? Like, okay, we'll pay for your Zoom. We'll pay for, the big Zoom for 500 people. Money was not left on the table because a lot of Giving Circles give out their grants in May or June. And, the world had closed. And by having this, access to technology, money was not left on the table, and that money, kept being distributed to different causes. Also, again, people were stuck at home thinking, what is mine to give, right? I don't want to feel helpless. How can I do something from my living room?
Right.
Even if if I don't see other people, right? But I know a lot of people learn how to cook and bake bread and everything. But also a lot of people, started Giving Circles. And there was also, a big search on tech platforms to support Giving Circles. So we partner a lot with a platform called Grapevine. And it's free for Giving Circles. It's a very, user-friendly platform. It looks kind of like a Facebook group. And you can you can talk to your members, you can manage your donations, you can vote. It's connected to the IRS, database of nonprofits. So you collect all the money for your Giving Circle there, and then at the end, when the group decides where to give them the money, you just tell Grapevine, hey, we're sending X amount to this organization, X amount to this other organization. And it's so easy to use. And that gives also the benefit that there is not one member that needs to deal with the funds, right? Like that no one wants to do. It's always that question of, my God, how do you collect the funds?
Nobody wants to be the treasurer.
Nobody wants to collect the funds. Yes.
I'm usually one that gets volunteered for that job.
That's right. Well, you know what? You're good at it.
Yeah.
But what you're doing, and the goal of Isn't She Amazing, is that we can teach women how to embrace new ways of thinking and new opportunities and a vision for a bigger, better, more productive life. And what you are doing is really helping people do that and raising the energy on the planet to make giving and gratitude a more accessible, easy thing for people to do, that more people
everybody can do it.
Yes,
it's available to everybody.
And let's not forget the fun, because it is fun.
It is
fun. It's just, it's getting together, having a glass of wine together, eating together, laughing, building sisterhood, and then doing a lot of good, at the same time. And I think that is key. And especially, we know that women our age, again, right? Our families may be out of the house, and this is something that gives you community, and it's so important.
Yeah, I use this analogy. Marianne and I had a discussion one day. We were talking about just what it's like to hold someone's hand, and we said, if you get just women each other's hands, a wave for change. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're a wave for change by building this community.
Absolutely. So, Sarah, I have a question for you. Before we let you go, you know, our audience are a lot of women like us, looking for a sense of purpose and meaning. And what action step, if they, so what can I do? They're thinking, how can I get started? What would you suggest for them? What would your advice be?
My first thing will be literally take a look at that directory of Giving Circles and take a look at our website, read a little bit. You know, we have several articles that talk about, you know, the benefits of Giving Circles, and see if this is something for you. And if it is, please, by all means, engage with us. We just had Launchpad for June yesterday, actually. Yes, it was yesterday. So the next one will be, it's usually like the second Tuesday of the month, but we have the dates on the website. Please join us. I guarantee 90 minutes of a lot of fun, a lot of learning. And you know, you may start something. There are many people that also started with their extended family, right? It's a great way to teach the younger generation about philanthropy. There are many, you know, Giving Circles with teenagers, or just, you know, call a couple of your neighbors and said, okay, let's do something this summer, right? Find out what cause your friends care about, and just rally together. So yeah, I feel that we all can do something. It's not, don't overthink it. Just, you know, just do it.
Well, that is great advice. And we have an amazing group of women that are going to learn from you. And we're excited to get this show on the air. So thank you so much for joining the Isn't She Amazing podcast. And we thank our audience for coming and getting to hear Sara talk about all the things that are in her heart.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, you know, let's do it together.
Let's do it.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.